So James has just given us a little talk about your role as the chairman, how the club's doing in their current situation. Today we want to do a piece on mental health in sport, and we want to get your views on it as the chairman of a rugby club. Sort of as in your role, how aware are you of mental health issues within sport in general?
Personally, I'm very aware of mental health issues, not only in sport but in broader society. In my day job, I deal with a lot of people who have despondency issues, mental health issues, and unfortunately, working in the emergency services, I'm aware of the impact that has on individuals, their family, and the broader community. As part of a member of a community rugby club and chair of it, and with somebody who was a member of our club commit suicide last year, it is something that not only am I aware of, but want to try and address and get involved in. So, I'm not sure if you're aware, but our club a month ago hosted an evening which was dedicated to mental health, and it was dedicated to an acknowledgement that rugby players, sportsmen, and indeed, and I'm going to focus on men in this situation, but men are very, very likely to suffer from mental health issues, not be comfortable talking about it, and really, unfortunately, very often either trying to or taking their own lives. So it is something that not only am I aware of, but want to actively address. So not only did we host an evening where we had an organisation called State of Mind down who specialise in rugby league, where they brought down an ex-rugby league referee and a doctor to give us an explanation of some of the difficulties and the pressures that there are on sportsmen and professional sportsmen. We're also looking to develop a space at Falmouth Rugby Club where we're able to probably liaise with some charities and mental health charities to be able to create a space where people are able to meet and to come to meet with professionals in order to be able to seek some help. So it's something that not only am I aware of, but I think is incredibly important, and we'll try and actively do something about. Rugby, football, cricket, all of these suffer with have areas where people suffer, and we're an amateur game. I'm not dealing with contracts. I'm not dealing with somebody who's 34 years old and worrying what they're going to do, playing with a bad knee injury, wondering how they're going to go on and literally be able to feed and clothe their family the following year because they haven't got a contract anymore. I deal with people that are just men and family people that are coming to an end of a career, having difficulties in life, their home life, their working life. And so what we do is try to put sort of a trust environment out there, a comfort environment, and just make it somewhere where people are able to speak, they feel comfortable to speak, that if they're struggling, they're having dark times, that someone's there who's able to speak to them or to point them in the right direction to get someone to speak to. So very important, needs to be more promoted, and men need to be more comfortable and able to do that.
Yeah, and obviously the space you mentioned is a brilliant idea, I think, and getting men to talk about it is clearly a big issue. Why do you think then that men struggle so much to come out and actually speak about having these kind of issues?
Probably there's massive amount of psychological issues here that are deeper than I know about, because men bottle things up a lot more. They tend not to talk as much. They tend to think they've got to be strong, they've got to be a provider, that it's weak to show that you're struggling at all, so bottle things up and then take a violent aggressive act at the end, because men are slightly more likely to do that as well. So it's a huge amount of issues that men tend to carry, and it is that I won't talk, I'll be perceived as being weak, people will think I'm not the man I should be. The statements man up, all of these sort of things give you that impression that I have to be the strong silent type. Is not the case at all. There's nothing weak in saying I'm struggling here. I could do with talking to friends, to colleagues, to someone who may have an understanding and may just be an ear for you to listen to so you can get those things out. So I think they're the reasons why, and I think more of us just need to be honest and say, yeah, I struggle at times. There are times when not everything is as it could be, as it should be, as I would like it to be, and therefore you just got to have the honesty to acknowledge that, but also the ability to go and speak to someone, and the person you speak to has got to go, okay, this person's struggling. I may not be able to cure it. I may not be able to. I won't be able to cure it. I won't be able to do that. But at least I can listen to you, and I might be able to help you in signposting you to the right areas where you can get help.
And how hard can that be to do inside sort of a rugby culture, if you know what I mean? So as a laddish culture, as you said, you know, men bottle things up, and in the dressing room, you know, the guys are all having a good time on their way back from an away game, drinking beers and everything. You know, how hard can it be for someone in that kind of environment to open up to someone, one of their friends, and not feel like they're going to be mocked or even, you know?
It's a good question. It is a good question, and I think that very much we probably struggle with the banter mentality that's out there of, you know, there are no taboos, people will take the mickey out of everything, you know. It's very much that there can be that locker room mentality means that there isn't anything that people aren't, or there isn't anything that people don't think that they will have the mickey taken them out of them for. But I think that's wrong. When I say it's wrong, I think it is, people are genuinely a lot more supportive than others will think. I think there is that in cricket, football, rugby, hockey, in whatever those sports are. I think there is it's a bit of a cover up, that sort of noise that people make. I think at any stage, if someone was to go and speak to somebody and say, I'm struggling a bit, I think the ear would be there, or they'd be pointed at somebody straight away. I can't imagine, right, I very much hope that there isn't a situation that if someone was having difficulties, they were struggling, that they wouldn't be able to find, and I'm not saying a sympathetic ear, but they wouldn't be able to find somebody who went, oh, okay, right, we'll stop that, we won't do that.
Yeah.
And certainly my role is, I wouldn't have it. I would not have somebody who I thought was having a problem or a difficulty be victimised, belittled, picked on, undermined in any way, shape or form. And so that's part of my thing, is to make that feeling within the club that it is a space for everybody, irrespective of background, irrespective of all of the matters that there are. This is a safe, comfortable space to be to, and people should be able to feel comfortable in it. And I know that to some that will sound counterintuitive coming from a rugby environment, you know, beers on the bus environment. Well, that's a space for those people at that particular time, and that sits in that time and space, but it isn't like that the whole time, and there's a space for everybody and an area for everybody, and that's one of the big things that you have to get through.
Yeah, and touching on the other side of that, obviously a lot of people use sport as sort of a release. How much do you think playing rugby or sport in general can really help with these kind of issues that people will be struggling with?
It's well known that exercise is a fantastic thing for helping people deal with their difficulties. The sheer thing of getting out and exercising, to healthy body, healthy mind, is one of the things that people look at all the time. And rugby is also a great supportive, it's a team game. You are reliant, you can be you can be a phenomenally good player, but without 14 other people around you to give you the ball, to set you up to do it, you can't demonstrate that. So you've got a support network in place already. So it's great for that. The bit that you're around people, it gives you your opportunity while you're out there on the field or training to take your mind off those other things, to focus on something else, to focus on the game, to focus on your skills, to be with people around you who also have got that single-minded mentality. As I said, the fitness that's involved, the ability to train and get yourself fitter is healthy as well. And from my own perspective, I often sort of utilised rugby, the playing of rugby, as a chance that I was sort of being hit by elemental forces. It was something that I'm playing a game, and I would just sort of, you would do something good in the game, take a tackle, make a tackle, that physical kind of exertion and ability I would just utilise for me in the same way I utilise surfing as well. It's just being sort of hit and whacked by an elemental force which just kind of puts a figurative spring in your step to sort of go, okay, I've done something and feel something from that and took that forward. So I hope that sport in general, but rugby is one of those things which the training for, the fitness and that team bond and ethos can help that improve people when they are struggling.